of how they're feeling?
I necessarily don't. I know that we've got 2 players that play for Barcelona and they're obviously in regular contact. But I think, like I said, with the statement that we put out earlier, we just want to make sure that they've got our support, and if they can get as many people that can create that, then we're more powerful. Something that we've always spoke about as Lionesses, the same as last year when we won the Euros, is we want to be more than just a football team. We want to create more powerful moments. Off the back of the Euros, we were able to build a legacy on making sure that football was more available for everybody, and it was in schools and it was more accessible. And yeah, similar to this year, we stand up for what's right, and yeah, we're more powerful as a collective.
Nikita, that's the main message in the book, isn't it? It's empowerment, it's standing up, it's being candid, being you.
Yeah, ultimately, that's the main emphasis of this book, is that young people, you know, young girls, young boys playing football just express themselves for who they are. And throughout life, you're always going to have ups and downs, and you're always going to come up against people who question who you are and question how you should be. And obviously, as you progress, and now women's football has grown so much, you're almost thrust into a limelight, and all you want to do is play football. And then you walk down the street, people are saying you're my role model, but I want to be the role model for being Nikita Parris or whoever that may be, not someone you want me to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really inspiring book, isn't it? And it's just take us through the book. It's your, Nikita, you know, it's each of yours life story and the lessons that you've learned getting to where you are today.
Yeah, obviously mine, Georga's and Ella's, how football has helped us grow, not just on the pitch but off the pitch, and the lessons we've learned. Obviously, I'm a bit more experienced than Georga and Ella, so I've got a lot more to say. Thanks, G. Yeah, so I've got a lot more to say, and a lot more experience in different aspects. But everyone's got their own individual story, and not one person will have the same story, and that's what's important to know, is that for young girls and young boys growing up, is you're not always going to have the same pathway as your mate. Times might be difficult, times might be easier. It's just about your individual story.
And what you all share, sorry, what you all share looking at your stories is a sort of determination. I gave this to my daughter to read, and she picked out the story of you and when you got a pink Barbie bike and you wanted to go out and play with the BMXs, and you just ripped off the tassels and went out and did it. And I think all 3 of you, whatever hurdles you've been put in front of you, you've just said, no, I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah, I think ultimately that is one of my stories, but also the time when I had to create my own football team because there was no girls' teams when I left the boys' team. There's so many different stories that, you know, you have to take the initiative. It is your life, it is your career.
So if there are young footballers having their breakfast with the telly on in the kitchen this morning, thinking about, you know, what are the tips from the Lionesses, from the... Give them some recommendations. What are the little things they can maybe do in their lives that can make a difference, Georga?
I think it's not only about football. So we talk about the 3 Lionesses, but it's actually our story both on and off the pitch. And if we can get the balance right, and if we can, yeah, the book would give you an insight into things that we've faced off the pitch. So, for example, I experienced parents split at a really early age. So that's something that could mentally affect me on the pitch, but also it's about putting it right off the pitch.
So how do you do that? What
yeah,
helped you?
I think I've got a little bit about self-care. So it's just about finding your support network, finding the people that you can trust, whether it be your parents, grandparents, friends, coaches, teachers, and utilising them people. And I think as soon as we start talking and we start opening up, then we're less likely to bottle things up and it overflows. So yeah, talking early, making sure that we have them people, and yeah, you're finding the people that are around you that will want the best out of you.
And Nikita, sort of the same from you, so what would be your top tip to help empower people?
I think for me, it's just be yourself. Be you. Through whatever situation that you're faced up against, as long as you're 100% you and you don't fear being the person you are, then ultimately you come out on top.
Some of the little suggestions I was noting in there, you're talking about things like keep a diary of moments when you're happy and you succeed, and you can go back and have a look at that when you're having a down moment.
Yeah, I think life and football moves so fast that you put what's just happened to bed and you're constantly moving on to the next thing. And yeah, you can see what we've achieved in 2 years, but then it's been the
2
fastest,
weeks.
yeah, the fastest time of your life. So you never really get a chance to reflect on it. So I think in them moments where you might not be able to sleep or you've got thoughts on your mind, to be able to write them down and come back to them, and that's when you can really reflect on them, because in the moment, yeah, time doesn't rest.
And did you write this for girls? Are you hoping boys will pick this book up as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone that would like to read, even adults, might give you an insight into what your kid might be going through, or yeah, what somebody younger might be going through, because yeah, there is a little bit about how the female body works, but yeah, boys might like that bit too.
Yeah, because there's a bit of science in there, there's a bit of psychology in there, and just a lot of fun.
Yeah, the psychology part is a key part, because that's ultimately what you will transpire as you go through life. There's so many hurdles that you'll overcome, whether it's in sport or out of sport, and I think the top tips that we've give each individual as give will help people at some point, I'm sure.
Lionesses, what do you do next in your professional lives?
Yeah, so I've got a flight back to Germany this afternoon, and then yeah, we play each other next week.
Yeah,
Bayern Munich versus Manchester United. So that'll be a nice one.
Yeah. It will be.
And then
There's a very good book if you want some tips.
I'll read it on my flight.
The trouble is, you've both got the book and you know what one another's thinking. Is that hard? Is that hard to readjust, to play against one another if you're such good mates and you're working together on this? And
yeah, it's always a bit fun. So like when you're playing against one of your mates, it's always like a bit rough and tumble. Like you go in that little bit harder, but then at the end you're just laughing.
Yeah, and don't forget, this is just a book of the past. You evolve as a person, so Georgia might not know the next side of me.
Oh, you held something back for the sequel. Thank you very much indeed. It's great to see you. Congratulations on everything over the last couple of years, especially over the last couple of weeks. Brilliant.
Really fantastic. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
It's 8:51.